Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
How's your day going?
Going good, thank you, yes.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Bronco Nation, when I score, Jackson pours. Each game I score a touchdown, head to Jackson's on Monday for a 49-cent fountain drink with Let's Go rewards. And don't forget your free banana, Jackson's. Let's go.
It's the all-wheel drive event at Lithia Ford of Boise. From hunting trips to ski trips to trips to Grandma's house. Nobody does AWD like LFB, Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. BNN Live is presented by our title sponsor, rowpaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our major sponsors, Jackson's, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, Lithia Ford of Boise, and the Blue and Orange Store. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, good morning from SoFi Stadium. Good morning from Los Angeles, California, as the Boise State football team getting set to finish the 2025 season here in Los Angeles. We don't need to get into how much I hate the owner of the Rams, but we can get into the game itself. Mike Prater, Boise State-Washington. Shout out to our man Austin Park, KTVB, for sending me that video last night. We'll be over at the stadium today for the press conference. I'm here in sunny LA. You can see the palm trees here. Mike Prater's back there in Boise. Mike, I couldn't find my sunglasses this morning, so the only sunglasses I have are these cheapies they gave away from Southwest Airlines at the Maui Invitational. So may have to go with some weird-looking sunglasses today, depending on how bad this gets. But it's
Nice.
sunny, it's beautiful, it's L.A., and we got football to talk about. How we doing, man?
Oh, we're doing great. We're doing great. You're looking good. The sunglasses look great. Put those suckers on. The trees look great. The sunshine looks great. Everything's set up for this LA Bowl. Let's get after it today.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Not bad. You can do a live shot here with some palm trees in the background, and couldn't ask for better weather. It's going to be mid-70s again today. I think it was almost 80 degrees yesterday. Obviously, they'll be inside of the SoFi Stadium for the game tomorrow, for the press conference this afternoon. 3 o'clock back in Boise, Mike, as you know, as you're kicking off your show, they'll have a press conference with both head coaches. I think Rob Gronkowski's going to be there. They'll have the big belt that the championship winner gets in this big glass case that they don't want you to touch until the game's over for some reason. But and then right when it ends, about 4 o'clock or so, I'll jump on with you guys at 4:15. So we'll have the latest news, hopefully on any opt-outs or any injuries or anything else. But a lot of storylines here, and do want to thank Sun Cruiser, our studio sponsor, our mobile studios today on the road here in LA. As I've been saying all month of December, if you take a photo of yourself, post it on social media, having a Sun Cruiser, trying one out, we got a prize pack we'll be giving away. We'll raffle that off at the end of the month. So give Sun Cruiser a try. Let us see that you're doing that, and we'll enter you to win a cool raffle. Mike, a lot of layers and storylines to get to with this game. I want to dive into your column that you wrote at BroncoNationNews.com. I want to talk about your topic you guys had on the radio about how this game could change the offseason narrative around Maddox Madson moving forward. So much to get to, but I do want to touch on potential news at today's presser first, and what we're expecting to see. I keep getting asked by folks about opt-outs and things like that, and sure enough, that's the very first comment here in the chat, someone wanting to know about what players might opt out. I will say it was a little odd. They closed practice at the last minute on Monday or Tuesday, whatever day that was. I'll just throw that out there. They had told us for 2 days practice would be open, and then the night before they changed their mind and say practice is actually closed tomorrow. Spencer Danielson talked on Monday, was non-committal about any kind of opt-out, said we're banged up. A couple of guys got injured. He didn't mention which guys, but he did say we're banged up, and then hasn't talked since. I don't really feel it's the Boise State way. I'd be surprised if a Cage Casey or a Ty Benefield just decided not to play in this game a week later to get ready for the NFL draft. That would, frankly, almost stun me. But are you expecting any kind of opt-outs, any injury news, anything to the quietness around the program this week?
I don't think I am. And I know that's crazy to say in the era of college football that we're in, because that's the landscape that we think about when we wake up when it comes to college football this time of year. But I don't think it is. I think you said it right, the Boise State way. There's been 5 opt-outs in terms of just the public guys, the Hall Schmitz, the couple of linebackers, Breezy, and there's a 5th one out there I can't remember. No surprises, no big impact players. I was a little curious about Spencer's answers, and I wasn't overly curious about why they closed practice. They closed practice the week before. I know they changed their mind this week, but
they still had 1 day open that week. The championship they gave us 1 day. They gave us none this week.
That is true. That is true. So I'm not sure, if that's I'm not going to buy into that theory, but I wouldn't be surprised if Spencer said there's 1 guy here, 2 guys there. But if you ask me yes or no, I think the press conference is going to be clean. I think Boise State's going to show up with its full roster tomorrow, and hopefully when this comes to kickoff at 6 o'clock, it's not a storyline at all. And let's hope it stays that way.
I don't know what happened, Prater. I hang around you too much, and I become the cynical, negative guy here, looking for the worst out of things. I don't know what happened here, but I will see. I hope that's the case. Like I said, I'd be frankly shocked if he comes out today and says Cage Casey's decided to move on to the NFL. That just doesn't seem like the Cage Casey way, the Boise State way. Injuries is a different story. I mean, we had Daylon Matoyer's dad in the chat earlier this week, saying he's getting pray for his son. He's getting an MRI today on his an MCL. Doesn't look good. So, there could be some news on the injury front on the offensive line. We'll see. Where else? But I don't expect too much, and I think we were all expecting maybe some of Washington's top guys to opt out. And it doesn't sound like that's going to be the case either. I do think I think there's plenty, but one of the positives of this early bowl game is it's a little easier to get some of these guys to buy in here and finish this week.
Yeah, 100%, especially with the transfer portal not even opening until January 2nd. So it does make a lot of sense. Obviously, Washington's going to be losing its big-time running back, Jonah Coleman, but that's not because of an opt-out. He's got an injury, and it looks like he's out for this game. That's a massive blow for those guys. So advantage Boise State there. So, yeah, hopefully these rosters are intact, and I don't see it any other way. But in this day and age, you're always braced and always prepared for some kind of news like that.
Typically in this game, Mike Prater, Mike Prater, KTIK, the ticket there in Boise. BJ Rains here in LA at the LA Bowl. Hopefully you can hear me, see me okay, but you never know with wireless internet out here in the middle of LA. I'm actually, if you could see behind me, Mike Prater, LAX is like right here. Planes are just landing left and right behind me here. So kind of a unique setting, and fans are, I guess, in their cars wondering what I'm doing. The weirdo on a tripod stand doing a podcast in the middle of a parking lot here. But this matchup, typically, well, it will be the final LA Bowl. I guess I can talk to you about that too. But typically in this game, it's the Mountain West champion coming in with some momentum, pretty solid team against a mid-level 6-6 type Pac-12 team that really has no interest being in this game. We saw it in the Vegas Bowl all those years. We saw it in the LA Bowl where the Mountain West team a lot of time gets the better end of it because they're rolling, they're playing with confidence. All their guys are bought in, and the other team's just a bad team ready to get out of this thing. And I don't really see that being the case this year with Washington. 8-4 on the season. You look at their losses, obviously to Oregon, Ohio State at home, and then a close loss at Wisconsin and at Michigan. And that's it. And they don't have a ton of great wins. They did beat Illinois when they were ranked 23rd, I believe. But they look to me on paper like one of the better teams Boise State's had to play in one of these LA Bowl, Vegas Bowl matchups in a while. One of the better. I'm not sure I'm ready to go best, but I mean, it looks like a solid team that I think is going to pose some challenges here tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree with that, but it's also a very winnable game. And I'm a little curious about the point spread. What is it, 8.5, 9.5 points, maybe pushing 10? I haven't looked this morning. I was a little surprised by the point spread. That's a big number for me because you're right. This is one of those games where Boise State, it's not an easy game by any means. And we know Boise State's track record against P4s, and I know we're going to get into that here in a little bit, but this seems like a very, very winnable game. I think Boise State's going to win. I'm not sure, but I'm certainly taking the points. I mean, if you can give me Boise State 8, 9, 10 points in this football game, that's a no-brainer for me. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be a competitive game. You always wonder about the motivation factor this time of year. Boise State's going to be overly motivated. They're going to be just fine. And I haven't heard any rumblings. And we've talked to people up in Seattle, radio people, insiders, college football people, and it seems like that this football team is motivated. I don't know if it's overly motivated, but hey, maybe businesslike is good enough for me when it comes to the bowl season. And I think both these teams are going to get after it on Saturday night.
Well, I said this all week, but when the first announcement came out on Sunday, if you go to the Washington Huskies announcement, their tweet saying that they were in this game, most of their fans, 80% hated it. They were, Boise State again. Oh, why? LA Bowl. Oh, first Saturday of the bowl. Oh, really? This again? I would say a very high majority of fans, at least initially on Sunday, were not excited about this game. And I wondered if that sentiment was felt at all by the players on Washington. But we'll find out. And now Jed Fish's name circulating. Maybe, I don't know how serious any of that talk is, but he's at least showing up on some lists at Michigan. He was a previous coach there. You would think at this point Michigan could wait 2 days till the season's over to talk to him, but you don't know if that's any kind of distraction at all. And you're right, Mike. This game is 100. These bowl games are 100% about who wants to be there, who shows up, and I feel like Boise State's 100% motivated, 100% bought in, 100% ready to go. We'll just see what the talent discrepancy is from a mid-level Big Ten team to Boise State at this point, and see if that's enough tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, the P4 losing streak, that's personal for this program. That's personal for Spencer Danielson. I know we're going to dive into Maddox Madson. This game is massive for Maddox Madson. I know there's no consequences in terms of the wins and losses, but I strongly believe in Maddox Madson. It has to be highly motivated to win this football game based on the offseason and what he's got faced ahead of him. So, yeah, there's enough with Boise State in terms of the motivation. I think they're going to come out and play well and do nice things. But, this team's been up. This team has been down. We know that they can have really bad losses. We know that they can have really good wins. It seems like they're on a roll. They're somewhat healthy. I'm not overly worried about Matoyer. He's good. He's steady. The offensive line has been good and steady all year, but they'll throw in Steele, they'll throw in Rasmus, and they'll figure something out. And I don't think that's going to be a difference maker. So I think this is going to be a nice little setup to kick off the bowl season. I think it's going to be a good display of college football tomorrow night.
Yeah, and as I was kind of getting to my point, never really got there. I do think that I've been saying it all week, but I love this first Saturday. I mean, for media, yes, would it be nice, maybe, I guess, to have a couple more weeks to milk this and have, talk about the bowl game, but also you get it over with. The players are locked in. They're motivated. Coaches are locked in. And whatever player, I still don't understand. Nothing against Clay Martineau and Chase Martin and a couple of these guys. Steele. I guess Steele was hurt and wasn't going to play anyway. But why do you? I mean, the portal doesn't officially open until January. Mike, tell me what I'm missing here. But why not get another 3-day trip and some free bowl gear and then decide to transfer next week?
Yeah, I agree. But maybe everything's personal. When there's 108 players on the team and 3 or 4 of them opt out, that means 102 or 3 or 4 of them are going to be perfectly fine, perfectly happy. Maybe somebody missed mom. Maybe somebody wanted to get home. Maybe somebody did their last final and took care of business and said, why am I going to stick around for another couple of weeks? It is a very curious timing issue, but I get it. There's always going to be some. And if Boise State doesn't lose, and I'm, don't get me wrong. I don't want to hear the word roster retention moving forward this offseason. That was the big buzzword last offseason, and it worked. It's fine.
You're wanting roster change.
I want roster change, man. I don't want massive upheaval, but I don't necessarily need 107 of the 108 players and all 10 assistant coaches coming back. I need some change. But right now, let's take care of business on Saturday night, win an important football game for the psyche of this football program.
Yes.
And I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Let's get into that here momentarily, Mike. Again, shout out Southwest Airlines Maui Invitational for the free 50-cent sunglasses here as I'm broadcasting right into the sun here in Los Angeles. But yes, I want to get into Mike Prater's column, thoughts on Maddox Madson. If you got a score prediction, go ahead and throw that in the chat. We'll do our official score predictions and pregame shows tomorrow. But if you have any thoughts on this game, a player of the game, feel free to get that in the chat, and we will get to that here momentarily on Bronco Nation News. But do want to thank a couple of our great sponsors that allow Bronco Nation News to be down here covering the LA Bowl for you guys. And that starts with our new studio sponsor, Sun Cruiser. Real iced tea, real vodka, 4.5% alcohol, no carb, no carbonation, no bubbles. It's low carb, low alcohol content, low calories in terms of quote unquote healthy alcohol drinks. It's high up on the list. Love Sun Cruiser. Appreciate their new sponsorship. And again, go take a picture of yourself trying a Sun Cruiser. Send it to us on social media, and we'll enter you to win a cool prize pack at the end of the month. Andy Rowe, rowpaint.com. Appreciate him as well. Rowpaint.com. Andy Rowe, our title sponsor for since day one of Bronco Nation News here. 20% off your winter painting projects. 20% off if you hit up Andy Rowe. Concrete coatings, interior, exterior paintings at rowpaint.com. Hey, happy to announce Idaho Central Credit Union. They've renewed for another year here with BNN. We always appreciate ICCU. And they were on the fence, and then they heard Mike Prater had made the switch, and they said, we're in for another year. So Idaho Central Credit Union, 7 NIL deals, student athletes. They're back on board as an official sponsor with Boise State as well. That mobile e-branch online banking, so easy to use. Check out ICCU.com or visit a branch right there near you. There's one pretty much on every corner. Idaho Central Credit Union. Hey, Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. Hope you took advantage of that deal. 83 points, Mike Prater. When the Broncos score 83, you get a free taco at Taco Bell the next day if you have your ticket stub. So anyone that was at the game on Wednesday, hopefully you took advantage yesterday of that free taco from Taco Bell. When the Broncos score 83, you get a free taco the next day with your ticket stub from our friends at Taco Bell, the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family, Treasure Valley, Taco Bell locations. Hey, Latrell Caples, guys, they're going to honor this deal at Jackson's no matter what on Monday to thank Latrell Caples for his time at Boise State. 6 years, I believe, Mike Prater, the only 6-year player on the roster that has been at Boise State for all 6 years. No matter what, hopefully he'll get in the end zone a time or two tomorrow. But if he doesn't, on Monday, you still get the 49-cent fountain drink from our friends at Jackson's on Monday. So make plans now. Latrell Caples, you can thank him. 49-cent fountain drink on Monday using your Let's Go Rewards app, and that is courtesy from our friends at Jackson's. Latrell Caples, final game on in a Boise State uniform, and you can honor him and thank him with your 49-cent fountain drink on Monday. Also want to thank the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Travis Hawks and Company got some great deals going on right now. You can visit that Town Square Mall location, the original one. They have the new location there at the Boise State Hall of Fame. And, of course, all the various options, 4,000 plus hats on the hat wall. They can get you a customized jersey. But if you're not in the Boise area, you can order anywhere online at theblueandorangestore.com. All right, back here in L.A., BJ Rains, Mike Prater there in Boise. And, Mike, a number of kind of layers to this game. And I think the history against Power Fives is one that's kind of getting some attention here. Now, some folks in the chat were playing semantics with BYU yesterday. I know they're not technically, they did count on people's schedules as Power Five sometimes. So I know there's some semantics there about what whether or not it counts or not. But for the sake of your stat in this argument, we're saying it's not counting. Boise State has not beaten a P4 opponent since the Florida State game way back in 2019. I believe it's 0-9. And if you do count BYU, I still think it's 1-11. So it's not like it's a whole lot better. But Mike, obviously, different situations with a lot of these games, different scenarios. You know, the UCLA game is a tough one to put on Spencer when he's starting CJ Tiller in his first game, and that was right after he got the job. I mean, I'm not making excuses here. It's not good. They've got to start winning these games, but I know each game is different. But, I mean, you talk about the history of Boise State and all these big games they've won. They really haven't won a lot of them in the last 5-6 years, and I know that's a big storyline going into tomorrow.
It's certainly a big one for me, and hopefully we don't push it too hard, but I think that that's a major storyline going into this because Boise State built its national brand on winning these type of football games. If the blue turf is cute, the blue turf is nice, the blue turf is fun, but the Boise State national brand is predicated on winning big games on big stages. And the LA Bowl really isn't a big stage, but this is a big game, and it's a winnable game. And I think Boise State has to win this. I don't see Boise State going into Eugene and winning next year. I'll change my mind if I need to. We can be fluid in sports, but right now, I don't see that. The next scheduled P4 opponent after that is Cincinnati in 2028. You don't want to be 0-11 against Power 4 teams over the course of an entire decade. You realize what kind of message that sends to recruits? It's the opposite of what they're sending when they get out there and win these big games. So I think it's important that Boise State wins this game tomorrow night, get that monkey off the back. Spencer Danielson doesn't want to talk about it. Johnny asked him specifically about the monkey on his back at the press conference, and Spencer gave a really bland, generic non-answer about we're trying hard to beat Washington. Well, of course you're trying hard to beat Washington, but you have to beat Washington in this game. I think the national perception out there is that Boise State's quietly slipping away, and a quiet, sleepy win over Washington could change that perception going into Oregon next year. It's important. It's huge. Uh-oh, we lost BJ.
I was muted. There we go. I'll put $5 in the pot there. My bad, Mike. BSU Bill says, really tired of hearing the Vegas betting line excuse in these sorts of games. Yeah, we're underdogs, but you have to win one of these games here and there.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it has nothing to do with the Vegas line. I don't know where he's getting. What is the Vegas line? I think it just means the fact that tomorrow they're 9-point underdogs. They're not really supposed to win tomorrow. Like, it would be a fairly decent upset if they win tomorrow's game. Yeah, I think that. I mean, not that I'm trying to be smarter than the wise guys.
Would you not agree with that, Mike?
I think that the number is kind of big for me. Again, I'll take the points. I love the 9.5 points in this game. There's no doubt about that. But it doesn't have anything to do with the Vegas line. You just have to go out and beat Washington. I don't care if you beat them by a half a point, 1 point, 30 points. You have to beat Washington and get this P4 monkey off your back.
You're skipping a little bit, Mike. It's probably on my end, so hopefully folks can hear you okay, and hopefully they can at least see and hear me okay as well. I'm pretty sure it's probably on my end here, but doing the best we can out here in, like I said, the middle of a parking lot right by LAX as we get set for the press conference today and all the other coverage getting set for tomorrow's bowl game. What about Spencer Danielson and his P4? I mean, he didn't have all these games himself, and as I said, the UCLA was a tough one, having to start CJ Tiller. You're on the road at Notre Dame. You're playing a Penn State team in the playoff. Like, I know, again, not making excuses for him, but he has had some tough matchups here in his part of this. But what do you make about him trying to win the quote unquote big game to kind of help his resume and stature here?
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with his resume. I really don't. And you can make excuses or not for the 0-4 record. He's 0-4 against Power 5 teams. But this 0-9 streak involves all three coaches. It started with Harsin. It continued with Avalos. It's not a Spencer Danielson problem. It's a Boise State football problem. It's a recruiting problem. It's a cash problem. It's a talent drain problem. And the longer it continues to be dribble out there as a problem, it's going to continue to manifest and be as, the recruits they'll be used against Boise State like that. So I don't see it's a Spencer Danielson. I don't need to justify the circumstances of the UCLA game or the Penn State game or the Notre Dame game. This is not a Spencer Danielson problem. This is a Boise State problem that Spencer Danielson needs to fix.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you obviously have a prime opportunity tomorrow against Washington. When you heard it was Washington, I mean, some people are like, we've played, like I said, on the Washington side, they're tired of playing Boise State. It sounds like they were hoping for a better opponent, or I don't know what they were hoping for or thinking for. But I know you guys had Coach Pete on your show this week. What do you make of just the the fact that it is Washington, the history amongst these teams. They do play either 2028, 2029, I believe. In the next couple of years, they have one more scheduled meeting, but they've had some history. I think 6 meetings over the last 12 or 13 years. What do you make of the regionality, Seattle, Boise, and this battle?
I loved it. I got a big old fat smile on my face. I thought it was really cool. I love the regional battle. They've only played 6 times. It's not like it's that big a deal. And, I'm not too worried about what some social media fans say on the internet. I think this football team is motivated. I think Jed Fish is motivated. I think it's fun. I think it's a really cool game. Obviously, ABC thinks it's a really cool game. The Heisman Trophy ceremony is at 5 o'clock on Saturday on ESPN, on ABC. That's the lead in to this game, also on ABC. So ESPN and ABC and the Disney folks thought it was a pretty cool matchup. I think it's a spectacular matchup. I think it's really, really fun. There's a lot of storylines. You want to play teams with history. You want to play teams that we can talk about from the past. And the fact that they announced the Chris Peterson Bowl, I think it's spectacular. I don't know who else Washington was expecting to play. I don't know who else Boise State was expecting to play. I thought it was spectacular. I think it's cool. It's one of the first bowl games outside of, the important CFP stuff or whatever that Boise State's played that gets me fired up and excited. I think this is great. Let's do this.
Yeah, at one point, Mike, I was under the impression that the bowl game was going to be going head-to-head with the Heisman Trophy ceremony, which I didn't think made much sense, both on ESPN family of networks, and then we find out earlier this week, no, it's actually the hour before it, which makes way more sense and is perfect. And, ABC on a Saturday night, you already would have had good viewership, but people watching that Heisman, all of a sudden, you just kind of leave the channel on. I think it's going to be a great opportunity on the national stage for Boise State.
The Heisman Trophy ceremony has always started at 6 o'clock, and I'm not sure how far back that goes. So they moved it an hour, and I'm not sure why in terms of, because I don't remember where the LA Bowl was in the past in terms of this. So, but they made a conscious effort to make the Heisman Trophy the lead in to the LA Bowl and give college football fans on a sleepy Saturday night 4 or 5 hours of entertainment. Now, think about this, guys. This is also the first time in a long time. And frankly, I'm a Heisman voter. It's important to me. I've been a Heisman voter for 20 years. It's one of the cooler things that I get to do. But I'll whisper this so they don't hear it. But that Heisman show is terrible. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like it. I really don't watch it. It's a lot of stuff that Prater doesn't get into. Now, last year I watched it because of the Ashton Genty thing. But in terms of not watching it, now this year, and I think a lot of other people feel the same because we know that the Heisman Trophy and the aura of the Heisman Trophy has changed over the years. But guys, this is the first Heisman Trophy race in a long, long time. We have no idea who's going to win. There's not a front runner. There's not a favorite. There's going to be surprises. There's going to be sadness. There's a serious mystery to the Heisman Trophy, and I think that's going to get the TV audience number pretty big this year. And you're right. If you just leave that sucker on, because they'll announce the Heisman Trophy like at 5:55, and then Chris Fowler will do his cheesy little interview, and then they'll go straight to Los Angeles, looking live at SoFi Stadium. I think that's a great lead-in, and I think that's really cool. I think there's going to be a big number for Boise State's game tomorrow night.
I know everybody says, it's a quarterback award, but would Ashton Genty have won if he had the last season this season?
I think so. I think so. I really do think so. And, it's funny because last year we said Ashton Genty took advantage of the fact that there was no quarterbacks in the field. And if there's a legitimate quarterback in the field, he's always going to win it. That's just the nature of this award. And there wasn't a single quarterback to be found last year, and Ashton Genty took advantage of that. So did Travis Hunter. This year, there's a couple of quarterbacks, and they're fighting for attention, fighting for votes, but none of them are magical. Diego Pavia has had a magical season, but the other guys have had really strong seasons as well. And some of Diego Pavia's magic is off the field and the things that he does, and there's a couple of losses and a couple of bruise marks in there on his resume as well. To answer your question, if Ashton Genty's exact season from last year is in this year, I think he wins the Heisman Trophy.
All right, Maddox Madson, what does it mean for his future if he plays well in this bowl game? And speaking of bowl games, what do we think's happening with the Mountain West and the Pac-12 and the future of bowl games and the Potato Bowl and all that good stuff? We got plenty still to get to here with Mike Prater, and we'll do that momentarily. But first, want to thank a couple great sponsors that allow you to watch this show free of charge here on social media, and that includes Lithia Ford of Boise. Lithia Ford of Boise, check them out online at lithiafordboise.com. You get a new 2025 Ford F-150, Escape, Explorer, Mach-E, Lightning, Transit Van, many others. 0% APR for 60 months plus 0 down. That's right. Check out our friends at lithiafordboise.com or check them out right there on Fairview Avenue in Boise today. Hey, Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate. He's re-upped for another year. Appreciate Matt Bauscher and his support of Bronco Nation News. Check out Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate online at bauscherrealestate.com. You're looking to buy or sell a home, Matt's the best in the business. bauscherrealestate.com. Ridley's Family Markets. Download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. Shop Ridley's.com. Ridley's Family Markets. We appreciate them. They got 13 locations in the state of Idaho and love that Kuna location. Check out Ridley's Family Markets. Hey, if you're looking for a new career change, how about the trucking industry? TCS, Transportation Compliance Service, can get you into the trucking industry. Transportation Compliance Service. Check them out, transcomservice.com. Local company helping out folks all over the world with the paperwork, DOT, overweight, whatever you're looking to do, they can help you out. Transportation Compliance Service. Hey, if you're looking for a spa, how about Snake River Pool and Spa? They can help you out. Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game, thespateam.com. Whether it's a sauna, a spa, maybe a pool table, dartboard for the game room, they got you covered. Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game, 4 locations, Boise, Twin Falls, Meridian, Nampa. They're part of the Boise State home team. Check them out online at thespateam.com. We want those voicemails. Signature Roofing voice inbox. Hit us up. Signature Roofing, speakpipe.com/BNN. You can leave us a voicemail, your score predictions, your thoughts on the game. Speakpipe.com/BNN. Leave us that voicemail. And again, Signature Roofing, covering our community for more than 2 decades, whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, or an inspection. We appreciate our friends at Signature Roofing. Hey, don't forget to join the BNN crew tomorrow. Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian, the pregame show, postgame show, and great food specials, drink specials. If you're looking for a spot to watch the game tomorrow, Nathan Carroll's going to anchor our coverage out there at Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian. Really excited about this. I'll be jumping in live from the field at SoFi Stadium. We're going to have Jeremiah Dickey on the pregame show. We have some other special guests planned, but 4:30 tomorrow, we'll be live at Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian. Nathan Carroll and the crew, my family will be out there. I believe Coach Rid Bedell might make an appearance. So if you're looking for a spot to watch the game with friends, with family, you want to be part of an atmosphere, they'll have it on all the TVs. They'll have the sound going. They'll have our pregame show, postgame show blasting through there as well from LA. So come on out to Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian tomorrow and join the BNN crew. We're looking forward to being out there at Uncle Bob's tomorrow night in Meridian for the LA Bull. Mike, the biggest question is, I don't know if you guys brought it up on the air or not. I was waiting until we had big viewership till I mentioned this, and I just can't go any further. But, you got me there? All right. Johnny Ballgame going on a date to the basketball game was a big storyline in Bronco Nation on Wednesday night, wearing a light blue sport coat and sitting in Jeremiah Dickey's private seats. What do you make of Johnny Ballgame skipping out on work to go on a date with a blue sport coat? And I mean, he had his backpack with him, so I'm still trying to figure out if he used his press pass to talk his way in. How he ended up in Jeremiah Dickey's private seats, I don't know. We gave the player of the game, the Bat Bauscher player of the game, to Pearson Carmichael after the game, but we gave the assist of the game to Jeremiah Dickey for helping out Johnny Ballgame there with the private seats. But what do you make of our friend Johnny Ballgame? We shouldn't be surprised.
Well, I didn't know any of that, and I tend to I don't have a lot of rules in life, but I tend to stay out of Johnny Ballgame's dating life, so I have no idea. First I've heard of that story, didn't know about it, and I think I feel a little bit better about it that I didn't know anything about that. So you're gonna have to sleuth with somebody else on that one.
Surf City Bill said, "Did Johnny get the blazer return to Kohl's yet?" Not sure on that. We were giving him crap for that, but I mean, Spencer Danielson kicks off every press conference asking about Johnny's love life. So if I get a chance today, I may have to inform him about his most recent date to the basketball game, sitting in his boss's seats there courtside. But good old Johnny Ballgame. I thought you'd have a little more. I thought you'd be ready just to take a few more shots at him there, but you're too nice, Mike Prater.
Oh no, it's not. I'm too nice. I just made it. I don't know. I mean, Johnny's dating life is like a 3-ring circus, and I have been there, done that, and tend to stay away from that. So let Johnny enjoy his dating life by himself. So he's the one that puts himself out there. He's the one. He doesn't like it when Spencer Danielson brings that stuff up, but Johnny Ballgame puts himself out there for people to make those kinds of comments, and it's fair game. So I didn't see it, didn't know anything about it, but I understand people taking shots. I get it.
Well, yeah, and yesterday he tried to act like he wasn't the one making it a big deal, and I said, well, Johnny, I have a text from you saying, look at me in JD's seats. So, yeah, he did want to make it a little big deal. But no, we love Johnny. It was a fun storyline on the show. I couldn't watch the second half of the game. I was mesmerized watching Johnny ballgame on his date once I found him in the crowd sitting right there. But, no, we had fun with it yesterday. We love Johnny. And, yeah, if we wanted to talk about his dating life, that's all you'd talk about for your 3-hour show, Mike Prater, because it sounds pretty complex, I guess you could say. But
we will not be talking about Johnny's dating life on this show. That's been banned from the show. Don't want to go there. Don't need to go there on that one.
Probably smart. All right, Maddox Madson. First of all, the LA Bowl, the last LA Bowl, Mike Prater. Not a huge surprise. This game was started by Craig Thompson once the last bowl cycle started when the Las Vegas Bowl was moving to Allegiant Stadium. They wanted to kick out the Mountain West, try to get some bigger teams in here. They had the deal with the Big Ten SEC to rotate teams, I believe, and kicked the Mountain West out. And so give Craig Thompson some credit. All things considered, a pretty nice – I mean, we were scared 5-6 years ago. What's going to happen? It was already a crappy bowl situation. How bad is it going to be for the Mountain West? They found a bowl game in an NFL stadium in LA against a decent Pac-12 team to send their champion to for whatever it's been, 5-6 years. So it's actually been a really nice bowl, a respectable bowl. I don't think anybody hears about the LA Bowl and laughs or whatever. I mean, I know the Gronk and the Jimmy Kimmel and some of the sponsors and all that, I guess you could say, has been a little odd. But you're in an NFL stadium. They've been on ABC, I think, every year of this game. You're getting prime TV spots, prime opponents, an NFL stadium. Like, for the most part, it's been a really nice, solid bowl for the Mountain West champion to go to. Now, obviously, this whole thing is getting blown up. Some bowl games might be going away, as the LA Bowl is. What do you make? We did hear Jason Eck, when he was on with you and me 2 weeks ago, or last week, I guess it was, drop a hint about a new bowl game coming in Colorado, potentially, between the Mountain West and the Pac-12. I know there's some other things going on behind the scenes, but the tie-ins are all going to change, all kinds of changes coming. What do you make of the current setup of the bowl scene and what it might look like for the new Pac-12 here moving forward?
Yeah, a lot of work to be done. There really isn't any right now, and they don't have a conference championship game protocol or site. They don't have a bowl game situation. They don't have a schedule. I mean, the SEC released its schedule last night. I'm not telling the Mountain West to go out there and pretend like to be the SEC, but Teresa Gould did an interview this week and said everything that we just talked about, the CFP stuff, the bowl stuff, the schedule stuff, the conference championship game destination, none of that stuff will be talked about until the CFP comes out with its new rules for 2026. The playoff format, 12 teams, 16 teams, whatever it is, and every other piece of detail. So we're looking at about 2 more months. Every single bowl game, the Rose Bowl, every single bowl game, from the Potato Bowl to the Rose Bowl, has to be recertified by the NCAA this spring. There's going to be massive bowl changes coming to college football this spring. And absolutely, the Pac-12 has got a massive amount of work to do. I don't know where they're going to be. The rumblings of the Denver Bowl are real. It's going to be a Mountain West-based game. There's a man with very significant Boise ties who is behind this game, and we
saw him in Vegas at the media days.
Yeah, it's very, very, very real. And hopefully the Pac-12 can latch on to that. Maybe they can latch on to Boise's game. A couple of Mountain West Pac-12 games. Now, I don't want a whole series of Pac-12 versus Mountain West. I don't want that, but I wouldn't mind one here or one there, especially if you put them in cold weather cities. But they're going to need about 4 or 5 probably 4 or 5 destinations, 4 for sure, maybe 4.5. And if you get Denver, maybe Boise, and then Vegas light, San Diego light, Texas light, Arizona light, one of those.
Can they get back in with the Vegas Bowl? Can they get back in with the Vegas Bowl and make that the spot where their champion goes again?
No, but when I say Vegas light, I'm almost talking like a second bowl game, and I'm putting words in their mouth. I'm putting work on their plate. It's almost like the old Poinsettia Bowl after the Holiday Bowl. It was the same committee, the same people, and you just kind of put on 2 bowl games, and people are doing that. And I don't know why we can't get a second bowl game in San Diego. I don't know why we can't get a second bowl game in Vegas. I would love to have the LA Bowl go to Vegas, but it's not going to be the Vegas Bowl. The Vegas Bowl is playing with the Big Ten and the SEC guys. The Vegas Bowl is thinking big and moving on. But if they can have a game in Allegiant Stadium a couple of days before and call it Vegas Bowl Light or whatever they want to call it, and have the Mountain West champion go there against, let's say, a Big 12 number 5, I think that would be a lot of fun. That would be the best scenario for me. but they're probably going to get stuck with a couple of cold weather destinations, and hopefully they get a couple of warm weather destinations. It's not going to be great, but I think that they can get that accomplished. They just got a lot of work to do between now and the spring.
Ben wants to know, why are bowl affiliations even a thing anymore, Mike? Shouldn't it just be best on best now? I know the conferences want to do this ahead of time to secure spots where they know they're going to have spots for their teams to go. Now, but nowadays, you're barely getting enough bowl-eligible teams as it is anyway. I don't think it's going to be a spot where you're worried about finding a spot for your team. Why isn't it more regionalized? Why do they have all these tie-ins? Why don't they just say, here's our 35 bowls, and we'll put you in one of them when the time comes?
Well, the regional tie-ins are there. 90% of the bowl games have regional matchups, regional tie-ins, and that's not the problem. The contracts are there. You have to have contracts in place. That's the whole purpose of the certification and the business part of what's going to happen with the bowl games in the spring. Now, with that said, I think there is a lot more flexibility out there. Boise, the Potato Bowl, and it's because the MAC didn't have enough teams because 3 or 4 teams opted out. And so the Potato Bowl has got a Utah State, Washington State, when they have a contract with the MAC. There is more willingness to go out there and be flexible with bowl games in the interest of matchups, in the interest of regional matchups than ever before. It's not a perfect system. It's not a perfect science. And the bowl system is broken. Let's not get carried away. It's broken. Kind of like college football is broken. But they're doing the best they can, and I think they'll come up with some regional matchups. Every single Pac-12 bowl game moving forward will have some kind of a regional matchup. They're not going to play. And when I say regional matchup, that could include like the American. I would like to see one Pac-12 American bowl game, and whether that's like in Texas or Arizona, I think that makes all the sense in the world. So give me an American affiliation. Give me a couple of Mountain West affiliations. Give me, whatever else you come up with. And there's lots of possibilities out there. They'll figure it out, and it'll be okay, but it's not going to be great because the bowl system isn't great anymore.
Sky must have come in late here. He says, I'm wearing the punk rock glasses today. Let's go. Actually, they're hurting, so I'm going to take them off for a minute. But these are the Southwest Airlines. No free plugs here, but the Maui Invitational gave out these like free 50-cent sunglasses, and I'm the king, Mike Prater, of breaking sunglasses, sitting on them, dropping them. So I have a kind of a rule where I don't pay more than like $20 for a pair of sunglasses. So I'm all about the free sunglasses, and that's all we had in the backpack today when I looked to wear them. But the big thing, Mike, is just finding a respectable, solid bowl for the champion, and that's the big thing that they've got to figure out. Like I said, Craig Thompson lost the Vegas Bowl, was able to get the LA Bowl going, and I give him a lot of credit for that because it was a nice rebound when a lot of people were scared about what was going to happen. So they've got to find a solid, respectable bowl where if you win the Pac-12 championship, you're the Pac-12 champion of this new league, that you're not going to, no disrespect intended, the New Mexico Bowl or the Potato Bowl or whatever else. You've got to have an exciting destination, exciting matchup like you've had the last decade plus with the LA Bowl and the Vegas Bowl. And they can definitely have more than one bowl game. I mean, they used to have the Poinsettia Bowl before they had the Holiday Bowl. They used to have the Cactus Bowl before they had the Fiesta Bowl. I mean, some of these were at different locations for the second bowl game in that town, and that's fine. I mean, there's other options, I guess. If you want to do that, you would hope it's at Allegiant Stadium, but timing-wise, whatever else, like these companies can certainly put on multiple bowl games. I agree. I think San Diego would make some sense, a nice warm weather spot if you could whether get into the Holiday Bowl or get a new nice bowl down there for the Pac-12. I don't know what the plans are, but for me, it's the other ones you're mentioning are nice, and those are secondary, but especially for a Boise State, you're not really concerned with the third or fourth bowl in the Mountain West. You shouldn't have to ever, or Pac-12, you shouldn't have to ever hopefully play in that game. You want to know what are the top two options, and that was always my problem with the Mountain West is after this great first bowl, LA or Vegas, it dropped off dramatically from the second one. There was no second solid option. Now, Boise State got in the Cactus Bowl one year. They have a backup agreement there. That was a nice bowl. They got shipped to a couple bowls in Texas. Like, they didn't usually play in the Mountain West bowls anyway. But in terms of a second locked-in bowl for a solid, loser of the championship game, to not have to lose this game. And, I mean, you think about Boise State, if they'd have lost that championship game, Mike Prater, they would have ended up in the First Responder Bowl or the Frisco Bowl on the 29th of December. I mean, it would have just been a drastic drop-off. And so I hope the Pac-12 can find a solid bowl for the champion, but also a solid number 2 option. And after that, I don't really care.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. And again, all those are out there. I think all those possibilities are I don't think this is rocket science. These people will figure it out. There's a whole bunch of meetings between now and the spring, and Teresa Gould will grind behind the scenes. In one sense, I wish she would make the decisions now, but I also understand while waiting. The CFP and access, that's always going to be a priority. And the new Pac-12 is going to be a major player in the CFP in terms of the one spot available out there moving forward. So, it's important to be able to do that. There's a lot of money on the line, and hopefully every 2 or 3 years, the new Pac-12 champion is going to be involved in the CFP moving forward. So I like that possibility. So we'll figure this out probably in February, March, April, and then things will be decided probably around Memorial Day is kind of when the bowl stuff gets certified and everything gets real. So, yeah, it's going to be a pesky couple months, and it's going to be a curious couple of months. I cannot wait to see what they come up with, but there's a lot of ingredients on the table. Now I just kind of need to see the meal and see what the finished product is.
All right, final topic, Mike Prater, and I apologize, but I'm going to keep you a couple extra minutes here because we got a football game tomorrow, and it's our last chance to preview a game here. And I went too long, as always, talking on previous topics. But Maddox Madson, you guys talked about him on your show. Obviously, I'll say it, he's kind of a polarizing figure in this town. So you either love him or you don't like him, and a lot of people have they have their stance, and they're not going to change their mind no matter what Maddox Madson does. And if they want to see that he struggles, they'll point to the one overthrow or the one incomplete pass. If they love Maddox Madson, they're going to point to the positives. And there's really not a lot of middle ground on Maddox Madson. I do think when he came out last Monday, Spencer did and said he's our guy. That kind of quieted a little bit and got some people back on board, at least to get behind him. But even during that game, I thought he played pretty well. And you see people saying, Max could have done this, could have done that. What's your take? Because I asked straight up, are you going into the portal for a quarterback, or is this it? And he basically said, as of now, this is it. And I do wonder, like a Caleb Annett, is he going to stick around and be third, fourth string again next year? If a Caleb Annett decides to transfer and that does open up a spot, maybe that allows them to suddenly go try to find somebody in the portal and compete. I don't know. But right now it looks like it's Maddox Madson, Max Cutforth, and then these two incoming freshmen, kind of in this mix. And we'll see on Caleb Annett, and Zeke Martinez obviously is in there as well. Maddox Madson, his play tomorrow, you've talked about, P4 games. You look at Maddox Madson in some of these bigger games too. Notre Dame game, 4 interceptions, I believe. What's your take on how Maddox Madson could change the narrative around himself, around this quarterback position with a strong showing, or vice versa? If it doesn't go well tomorrow, what that would do here going into the offseason?
Yeah, I know I'm victim of hyperbole sometimes, but I don't think there's another individual outside of the bowl games that matter in terms of chasing championships. There's not another individual during the bowl season that has as much at stake as Maddox Madson here. And if Maddox Madson plays poorly, the offseason narrative changes dramatically. And we're talking for 8 full months, guys, 8.5, 9 months. The narrative around Maddox Madson is, here we go again. Here we go again. And I don't even need to tell you what that means because we've heard it over and over again. If Maddox Madson plays well, and I think Maddox Madson is going to play well in this game, that's back-to-back games. That means an MVP in a championship game and a win in a bowl game. The offseason narrative settles down a little bit. The Maddox Madson haters are never going to go completely away. But it's going to be really hard to criticize Maddox Madson in the offseason when they don't see him for 6, 7, 8, 9 months, and he's coming off of 2 games. The narrative is going to be massive. The results of this game for Maddox Madson is going to be huge. And it's about the psyche in his head, guys. It's about the 5 inches between his head in terms of the confidence. We heard him the other day. He shut down all of his social media. He turns that stuff over to mom. He doesn't want to deal with that stuff because it's violent and it's gross. And we've all beaten up. We've all taken a role in beating up Maddox Madson. Everybody has. Everybody. And I get it. But if he plays well, that narrative is going to change. If he doesn't play well, that narrative is going to continue. This is a massive, massive 3.5 hours for Maddox Madson. I think he feels the pressure. I think he can handle it. I cannot wait to see what he does because everything he does tomorrow night is what we're going to talk about for the next 7, 8, 9 months with Boise State football.
What percentage out of 100 would you put on Maddox Madson not being on the roster next year?
Less than 5%.
Okay.
Where's he going? Where's he going? He's not marketable. Nobody else wants him. No offense, but
that's what I was wondering. If he goes out and has a big game, and if he gets some interest with some money, I don't know if he's a guy that says, "Hey, you know what? I've done a lot of great things for this program. I don't have social media, but I hear all the crap people are saying about me. Screw that. I'm going to go somewhere where I'm wanted and get more money anyway." I don't think that's his style. I think he wants to prove everybody wrong again and finish this thing out. But I just wonder, behind the scenes, if he has a strong game, if he might, if that might affect his thinking at all.
put it on the list of ideas to talk about. Again, that's the nature of college football today, but I don't see that. I don't see that happening. I don't think he's overly marketable. And I know that sounds terrible, but I believe it. I mean, he's a niche quarterback, and Spencer Danielson loves his niche quarterback, and Spencer Danielson is always going to defend his niche quarterback, and I'm assuming Prater does as well. But yeah, Maddox Madson hears the outside noise. He doesn't hear it like we do because he shuts it off. So he's kind of got his head in the sand, and that's good. Focus on the game. Focus on you. Go out and play tomorrow night, and let's see what happens. But yeah, I fully expect. Even though I wrote the column of change about 6 weeks ago after that Fresno State loss, I fully expect Spencer Danielson to be your head coach, Maddox Madson to be your quarterback, and Nate Prater to be your offensive coordinator, play caller when Boise State lines up against Oregon next year.
And are you okay with that now?
I'm probably not okay with the Nate Prater part, and I feel bad when I've said that, and I've said it a couple of times. He's shown me some signs. He's getting better. He's inconsistent, and it drives me crazy. I don't think he's ever going to be the dynamic play caller that the Boise State's offense deserves. And I'll never, ever, ever in my mind get over the San Diego State game and Spencer Danielson's press conference the next Monday saying, we've got to attack, we've got to attack, we've got to attack. The fact that Nate Prater has to be told, a Division I offensive coordinator play caller has to be told how to run a football team, how to run an offense, really, really set me off. And maybe he'll grow into better things. I trust and love what Dirk Cutter says. Dirk Cutter trusts and loves Nate Prater, but I'm not a big fan. So Spencer Danielson, I'm okay with Spencer Danielson. I'm okay with Maddox Madson, as long as there's a really, really healthy quarterback competition. That's the most important thing for me. And couldn't the quarterback competition be really one-sided if indeed the head coach and the offensive coordinator are completely in love with Maddox Madson? Probably. I get it. But I don't need a transfer portal quarterback yet. I just need a quarterback competition, and there's 4 dudes in that room that are probably going to give it to me. At the end of the day, Maddox Madson's still going to be your quarterback.
All right, final thing then, Mike. Put this all together. The game tomorrow, 6 o'clock, ABC. You talk about Maddox Madson having a lot to the gain and how this could change his, off-season outlook here. What about for the team? If they can get to a 10th win here, get that monkey off their back of the P4, if they can beat Washington. A lot there. I know there's always debates whether or not bowl games, when you win them, you say, oh, it's great. It propels us into the spring. And when you lose them, it's like, oh, it pissed us off and had us fired up all spring to get back. Like, you can look at it both ways. I get that. But what do you see in terms of the off-season outlook surrounding this game, win or lose? And I think you mentioned it earlier, but it sounds like you think you expect Boise State to win.
Boise State's going to cover 100%, but also take in mind that I'm the world's worst gambler. But I'm definitely taking the points, and I do think Boise State's going to win this football game. Washington's defense is really, really good, and Boise State's offense, Nate Prater and Maddox Madson, have to be crisp. They have to be good. They have to be really, really good in this game because Washington's defense is going to come and lay the thunder, and it's going to be a tough chore for Boise State to score 20 plus points. But I think they're going to get there, and I think Boise State's defense can shut down Washington. This probably will be a low-scoring, tight defensive type of battle, maybe like a 24-17, 24-21 type of game. I think Boise State's going to win this football game, and I think the narrative this offseason is going to be pretty good. There'll be skeptical people, and we're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to Spencer and Maddox and all that stuff. But if you can have a Mountain West championship, a bowl game victory over a Power 4 opponent, a Big Ten opponent, has Boise State ever beaten a Big Ten opponent? I don't think they have. I don't think Boise State's ever beat a Big Ten opponent. I'm thinking off the top of my head here, and it's really weird to think of Washington as a Big Ten opponent, but they are. So this would be and 10 wins. 10 wins is big. This is a big game for Boise State. I think they win it, and I think they go into the offseason feeling pretty damn good about themselves.
They are 9-6. I just saw here on page 3 of the game notes, 9-6 in 15 games played in NFL stadiums. How about that?
I did see that.
That's an interesting one. I'll have to look on that. That's interesting talking about the Big Ten because you're probably right. I can't think off the top of my head any of those. But Mike, appreciate you for jumping on. We'll be listening today 3 to 6. Again, we've got the press conference at 3 o'clock, and then the timing should work out that I'll be at the stadium somewhere, maybe on the field at SoFi Stadium to join you guys at 4:15 and provide some updates from the press conference, any opt-outs or anything. Some folks were asking about that. We have no news on that, and frankly, injury-wise, we may find out a guy or two are out, but I'd be pretty surprised if we had an opt-out. But I will join you guys at 4:15 to discuss that. You guys will be live 3 to 6, Mike, today. Basically a 3-hour extended pregame show to get ready for tomorrow's game.
Go buy some $20 sunglasses. Go to that press conference. Break some news for us at 4:15 on Idaho Sports Talk, and have yourself a good day, BJ.
Appreciate you. Thanks, Mike.
See you, bud.
There's Mike Prater. Appreciate him. I know I said we were going to talk basketball today, folks, but we didn't really get to that with Mike. I kept him well longer than our contractual agreement is, so we appreciate Mike for joining us and sticking on for a couple extra minutes today. Big game on Sunday against St. Mary's. Last game against a Big Ten opponent, 2013 against Michigan State, somebody is saying here. And that did not go too well for Boise State. I think that's the game Le'Veon Bell. It was 2012, I believe. I forget if it was 2012 or 2013. I think it was 2012 when Le'Veon Bell ran all over them. We're going to see Gronk. Gronk will be at the press conference today. We'll see if we can talk to Gronk, and that he'll be at the press conference. We'll try to get a couple minutes with him if we can. I don't know if that's possible or not. But big basketball game on Sunday against St. Mary's. That's going to be a fun one. Bronco Nation News, weather permitting, travel permitting, we'll make it to Idaho Falls on Sunday. We're going to fly up to Salt Lake on early Sunday morning and then drive 3 hours to Idaho Falls to get there in time to give you guys a full pregame show coverage and a postgame show as well. So Bob Beeler and myself, and I guess maybe Cody Gogler and a couple other folks, Chris Kutz, Jeremiah Dickey, will be the only ones making it from maybe a couple of you fans. I don't know. I shouldn't say that, but not many will be at both the LA Bowl and the game in Idaho Falls. So we will be up in Idaho Falls on Sunday for that game. Looking forward to that. And we'll have a full pregame show, full postgame show. Big opportunity for the basketball team on Sunday to end this non-conference with a bang here. It couldn't have started any worse, losing to Hawaii Pacific, as everybody knows. But if they find a way to beat St. Mary's, and all of a sudden you have wins over St. Mary's on a neutral court and Butler on a true road game, that really changes the feel of your non-conference. You'd be 8-3 going into conference play. You'd be solid in all the metrics, and you'd be you would have done what you needed to do, I think, in the non-con to hold serve and still have a shot at an at-large bid going into conference play. The Mountain West, for all the crap they got earlier in the season, guys, actually has come on strong here of late. They've had some really nice wins. New Mexico won at VCU. A lot of the metrics, you look at like a Wyoming and some of these teams, New Mexico, have like really solid metrics. So for all the talk about this being a one-bid league, I just don't think that's going to be the case. I think the metrics got back into a range where they needed to be to still make this probably a 2 to 3 bid league. So I think that, like I said, could have been better, but also could have been way worse for the league and for Boise State. And this game on Sunday certainly is a massive game for Boise State and their resume as they look to try to continue to push past that Hawaii Pacific game and get set for conference play starting up a week from Saturday. A week from tomorrow, they'll be in Reno to start conference play against Nevada. Pre-Christmas game next Saturday in Reno. But we're here in LA. We're covering the LA Bowl. We appreciate all you guys. I've actually got to go on a Big Ten show. Emily Taylor hosts a show for Big Ten fans on social media, I believe. I'm going to be jumping on that here in about 10 minutes, previewing this game. We're going to get down to the press conference. Again, 2 o'clock Pacific time, 3 o'clock Vegas, Boise time. And we'll have a full, news. Follow our Twitter accounts on the message boards. We'll be posting stuff. We'll have a story up afterwards. Any opt-outs, any injury news. Spencer Danielson's final address to the media will happen at about 3 o'clock Boise time today. I don't know if that press conference is going to be streamed live or not. I will do what I can to at least get the video posted to our YouTube channel after the show. Or after the press conference. Don't know if that'll be live or not, but certainly follow me on Twitter, follow Bronco Nation News. And again, 50% off. If you're liking the coverage of BNN down here live at the LA Bowl, we'd love to have you subscribe. Again, 50% off the annual rate right now. So it's like $7 or $8 a month, I think is all it is. $5 a month, maybe, I think is what it is. Actually, $5 a month right now. $60 one-time fee for the full year. And if you're able to, do that, we would appreciate that. One-time fee, and then you're done for the year, and you get full access to Mike Prater's columns, Nathan Carroll's analysis. His game preview is going to be posted here after the show. We got all kinds of coverage from LA, from Idaho Falls. As I said, we're the only local outlet outside of Bob and Abe and the radio side that travel to every road, all the road basketball games as well. So you're going to get coverage you're not going to get anywhere else. And if you'd like to get inside scoop, all the analysis from Nathan, from Prater, the recruiting coverage from Chris, $60 one-time fee, $5 a month is all it costs. You can jump on board with a subscription at Bronco Nation News right now at bronconationnews.com and help support all of our travel efforts and things. We appreciate we appreciate the fact that, those of you that have already subscribed and those of you, that are thinking about it, we hope you'll this kind of coverage will show you that it's time to jump on board at BroncoNationNews.com. Again, Sun Cruiser, our studio sponsor. Take a picture of yourself having a Sun Cruiser this weekend during the games. Just when you're hanging out, do it right now if you're already enjoying one on a Friday at 10 o'clock back in Boise. But you post a picture on social media, tag us, tag Bronco Nation News, tag myself, and say that you're having, a Sun Cruiser as part of the sponsorship. Let us know what you think of it. And anybody that does that during the month of December, we'll put you in a little raffle for all kinds of different prizes and things at the end of the month. So we appreciate Sun Cruiser. I don't know what Paulie Pepperoni is talking about. He looks like one of those trolls showing into the chat here. Zero leadership on this team. They stink. I guess Dom doesn't, according to BJ, since he scored 3 points this week. But yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Do you think he'll actually give takes? Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about there. I was pretty critical of Dom Perlin. I had said in Maui that, frankly, I didn't think he was providing much, and he really hadn't provided much. And then he had a tremendous game against Butler, but I don't think I said he should be starting or anything. He just had a great game, and then, yeah, he didn't do much in the game last night. So the ups and downs certainly are there in college basketball. I don't know what you're getting at here also. I'm just going to say you need to leave that. I mean, Julian Bowie's father passed away recently, and he is dealing with a lot on the mental side of the challenges of losing your father. And I know he hasn't played the last couple games, and Leon Rice said after the post game that he's obviously dealing with the personal situation, and more information will come out at some point. So I don't think that's, if you want to be a troll, whatever. I don't think continuing to ask questions about Julian Bowie and why he hasn't suited up. It's not an injury, and it's a very personal situation for him. So you should be praying for him and his family and thinking about him and what the loss that he's dealing with his father, and not taking shots at him or other folks on the team, to be honest, at this point. So I'm just going to leave that there, Paulie, and say that that's not the tree you want to bark up, or whatever the phrase is. Julian Bowie is dealing with a lot of personal stuff right now, and he could use all of our thoughts and prayers, as his whole family could, for the passing of his father. And I don't know what that's like. Some of you may, but in terms of being a Division I college athlete, Dylan Riley certainly is dealing with, unfortunately, the same thing. And then obviously Julian Bowie is doing that, but there's not a lot of folks out there that are playing Division I sports and the pressure that comes with that while dealing with the recent loss of a parent. And so let's support him. Let's try to help him however we can, and think about him and pray for him and his family, and not really, start trying to make it anything more than it is at this point. I guess the disconnect is 8 points being tremendous. In that game, it was. He had 10 rebounds. He had 8 points, and I think most of the points there in the second half were huge. You can make a case that he won the game for him. So I don't know. I never said he was an amazing player that he should be starting. I just said in that game, he was massive. Dom Perlin's probably the reason they won. 10 big rebounds, played great defense, made a great defensive stop at the end of the game, and had a couple huge buckets in the second half when Butler was trying to make a comeback. So I'm not saying Dom Perlin's an all Mountain West player by any means, but I certainly think that in that game, he had a really, really nice game to help them win. And if anybody disagrees with Dom Perlin being a big reason why they beat Butler, then I guess you just have something against Dom Perlin. I don't know, but that's just a weird hill to be dying on, is Dom Perlin. He is what he is. He's a backup big that in some games is going to have bigger games. In some games he's not going to do a whole lot, but he was huge in that game, and he helped Boise State to a big win. And then, yes, the next game he didn't do much against whoever they just played, Duquesne, but it is what it is, and we'll see what he does against St. Mary's on Sunday. But massive game for the basketball team on Sunday, and if they can find a way to beat St. Mary's, it really, really does change the outlook of this non-conference season. And excited. My first trip over I've been to Idaho Falls, but never for the basketball game, and it's been football conflicts the last 2 years, but we found a route, we found a rental car, and it's not cheap, I'll tell you that. So we could use a few more subscriptions, but it's going to be a long day flying from LA to Salt Lake, driving 3 hours, covering the game, pregame, postgame, and then driving 4 hours back home. Sunday is going to be a long day, but that's what we do for you here at BNN. We get you the coverage you deserve, and we're going to be in Idaho Falls on Sunday, and excited to to cover that game for Bronco Nation News. So appreciate you guys. I got to get inside to my hotel room and do this other show that I'm going to be on. I'll try to tweet it out. A couple of you have asked what show is it, what channel is it on. I'll try to tweet it out when I know, but it's going to be with Emily Taylor, some sort of Big Ten show here in about 5 minutes. So I will get in there and get that link up if I can for you guys. But go subscribe, BroncoNationNews.com. Again, $5 a month is our annual special right now. $60 one-time fee, 50% off our rate. Support our efforts here in LA. You can read Nathan Carroll's game preview that's going up. Mike Prater's column, a lot of great thoughts from Mike Prater. His column is posted for subscribers, and we'll have all kinds of coverage from the press conference this afternoon. And then join us 4:30 back in Boise tomorrow, live from Uncle Bob's Pizza and Meridian. Come watch the game at Uncle Bob's. Hang out with Nathan and the crew. Drink specials, food specials. I may even buy just tell Nathan to start buying Sun Cruisers for folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Come on out, hang out, have a good time. Watch the game, and there'll be a live pregame show, live postgame show anchored from Nathan Carroll there at Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian, starting at 4:30 Boise time tomorrow. So appreciate you guys for checking us out. Go subscribe. Go check out BroncoNationNews.com. We'll talk to you from the press conference, 3 o'clock. Boise State, one day. That's it, till the LA Bowl. Excited to bring you the coverage here from Los Angeles on Bronco Nation News and BroncoNationNews.com. We'll talk to you soon, everybody.